Hello, my little ones. How are you all doing? Welcome to yet another storytelling session by Mindseed Preschool and Daycare. My name is Shaily, and I'm going to be your storyteller for this evening. So, we're back again with another story for this weekend. I hope you've all had a great week. This week, in fact, we had the first set of festivities that came up for this year, 2021. In fact, we had all three of them almost on the same date. We had Makar Sankranti, which is kite flying. We also had Lohri, and then we had Pongal. Now, you must be wondering that there are three festivals at the same time and on the same date. So, what do they really mean? Why do we celebrate these three? Are you inquisitive to know? Are you also curious to find out what it means and what happens? Well, you're not the only one. There are also a lot of these cute bunch of kids who want to find out that how come three festivals come together and they're celebrated on the same day, and what do they all mean? So let's find out. Let's all hop on to this place called Jalebi Street and meet our little friends, and let's see what they come to know. Are we all ready? Let's begin. So, one fine day, there were two little friends. There was Bubbles and there was Maddie. So, Bubbles and Maddie had finished their online class, and in their online class, they had learned how to make some kites because their teacher said that Makar Sankranti is coming up. So, they learned how to make paper crafts and they made kite, and they were just coming back and they just decided to go down and play with those kites. So when they went down for some time to play with these kites, they saw that Kapoor uncle was making a bonfire. So while Kapoor uncle was busy making bonfires, Bubbles went and she asked him, "Oh wow, there's a bonfire. That means there's going to be a barbecue night. Oh, yum! There's going to be some very, very yummy food that we're going to eat tonight." So Kapoor uncle laughed and he said, "Oh, my dear Bubbles, well, this is definitely a bonfire, but it is not for a barbecue. In fact, it is for Lohri, which is something that we're all going to celebrate tonight." So Bubbles was wondering. And just then, Maddie's father was also putting on a bonfire in his garden. So Maddie was like, "Papa, why is our bonfire in another separate place? Why can't we all celebrate it together?" So Maddie's father said that, "Oh, my dear child, this is not for Lohri. This is for Pongal." So these two started wondering that we have Lohri and we have Pongal at the same time. And in school today, our teacher, Mitra ma'am, she made us make these kites. So are they all on the same day? And how is that possible? Well, I guess they also have the same set of questions. And Maddie doesn't like getting confused. He likes to know everything, like everything he wants to know. So he tries to find out. Well, they all go up back to their place after playing down with each other and the kites, and then they decided to get dressed up, freshen up, and come back in the evening and meet all their friends for the Lohri celebrations. So in the evening, there was a big bonfire, and all the uncles and aunties of the community, they came together. Well, all of them these days, because of the coronavirus, they were all wearing their masks, and they were all spread out in the garden, and they were all celebrating Lohri, where we had our little friend Bunny who was busy eating his popcorns in the corner there. But he was enjoying himself, and everybody was laughing and making merry and enjoying themselves. So while he was going nom 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 chomp 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 eating his popcorn, and there came Ayar Auntie, and she was just asking Maddie to help her give some reveries. Now, reveries are some sweets which are also made during Pongal. So they are nice and crunchy, crispy sesame seeds sweets that are being made for Pongal. So while Maddie was going to help, and he just realized that he toppled over the little bowl in which Bunny was eating his popcorns. But then there was our little Bubbles, who was very curious. So she asked Ayar Auntie, who is also a teacher in the school. So she thought that Ayar Auntie would definitely know, why do we celebrate so many festivals together? There was Pongal, there was Makar Sankranti, and there was Lohri. So she asks Ayar Auntie, and Ayar Auntie says, well, my little children, we celebrate all three for the same reason, and that is it's for harvest. We are celebrating harvest. So all our little children, they started scratching their heads and they were wondering, what do you mean by harvest? So Bubbles knew what it meant. So she said, I know here, Auntie. Harvest means the time when the farmer's crop is all ready and they take it to the market and they sell it off for some money. Ayar Auntie clapped her hands and she said, that's absolutely correct, Bubbles. You're right. Harvest is the time when the farmers are ready and to sell their crop in the market, and they celebrate on this occasion, and that is why we have Lohri. And that's when Maddie thought to himself that, oh, now I know Makar Sankranti, Lohri, and Pongal. They all mean the same thing, but they are just the different names given in different parts of India. Lohri is celebrated more in north of India. Pongal is celebrated more in south of India. And you have Makar Sankranti, which is celebrated mainly in the west of India. So that is why. Otherwise, it's the same. Well, anyway, all of them enjoyed themselves. But Ayar Auntie said, you know what's the fun part of Lohri? It's actually taking these popcorns that Bunny was eating and throwing it into the bonfire. And oh my god, all the children really enjoyed doing that. So all the kids got up, they took the popcorn and they threw it in the bonfire. They were all very careful that they made sure they stood a little away from the fire so that they don't get burnt. Well, on the next day, all the kids were well dressed. They were so excited to fly their kites. And in the morning, Ayar uncle and Ayar auntie, along with Maddie, they were celebrating for Pongal. They did the Pongal puja in front of their bonfire. And on the bonfire, they had made this very nice, yummy pot of Pongal, which is also the sweet that they eat. It's like a light, nice, and sweet porridge. So, this is what they were doing. And once the puja got over, then and then came over little Bubbles for this puja, and she wished them happy Pongal to all the family members in the Iyer family. And she said, Auntie, this looks so yummy. Can I have a delicious bowl of your Pongal? So Iyer Auntie said, well, let me just prepare it for everyone and garnish it with some nice fruits, little dry fruits. But till then, why don't you all go fly your kites? It's Makar Sankranti today, so why don't you go and fly your kites? Till then, I'll get everything ready. So while she goes in and gets things ready, all the kids run and they go with their kites and they go to fly. And when they go out in the garden area to see, now they are not allowed to go up on the terrace because it's too dangerous, up on the building sometimes to just be alone without your parents. So they decided to fly some kites in the garden area. They had a very big garden area in their society. So they were flying kites, and when they went and saw this huge bunch of children who were flying kites in different corners of that garden, they looked up and they saw that the sky was filled with colorful kites. And these kites were of different colors, these kites were of different shapes, they were of different sizes and different designs altogether. And they were looking up and they were admiring it. So Naz and Maddie, they looked up in the sky and they said, wow, these look so beautiful. And they looked up at this one green kite which was right so high up in the sky, and they were wondering who it belonged to. And then, when they tried to trace the string which was flying in the hands, they found out that it belonged to their friend Naz. So they ran up to Naz and they said, "Oh, Naz, do you know that your kite is the highest up in the sky? Isn't that amazing? We're so amazed. You can fly the kite so high up. It's the highest right now." And with that, just when they were talking, we had our Mr. Bunny who came singing his Balle Balle song, and he said, "Oh, wait for me. I am also making sure that my kite is going to be the highest. So you wait, Naz." So Bunny and Naz, they got into this competition of flying the highest their kites. So then, at that point of time, while they were enjoying, and all the other friends were cheering their friends, there was one group of girls cheering Naz. They were like, "Go, Naz, go! Go, Naz, go!" And the other children were trying to pep up and they were trying to encourage Bunny. So they said, "Victory for Bunny! Victory for Bunny!" And while this is going on, there came a big, huge kite up in the sky, and it came and it cut both Naz and Bunny's kite out. And there, both of their kites came tumbling down. So when it came down, while the kids were a little sad, but who cares? The kites are coming back down. So they all rushed to go and grab their kites back. And when they did, they all ran together. And the moment they got hold of the kite, they realized that they all bumped into each other and all fell down. But they laughed when they got up and they were so happy to have had a great morning that they all went back to their parents, who all gathered in the garden area for a nice little feast to celebrate Pongal, Lohri, and Makar Sankranti. So they all wished each other happy Pongal, happy Lohri, and happy Makar Sankranti, and they enjoyed their day. Well, I hope now you know what the meaning of all these festivals are. In fact, it's the first festival that we celebrate every time there is a new year. So, I hope you all have had a great time during your last week, enjoyed your festivities as well with all your friends. I'm sure all of you have taken very good care of yourself during this pandemic and you've maintained your social distancing. While it's a lot of fun to fly these beautiful little kites up in the sky, we should also make sure that the birds who are flying up in the sky don't get hurt with the string of your kites. So you should be a little careful when you are flying your kites and try not to hurt the little birds. They probably don't know, but we should be careful, right? And at the same time, we also should be very thankful to all the farmers for putting in so much of hard work and making sure we get good food to eat every time. We have enough supply of that food all year round. So it's a great time to be very thankful and be very grateful. I hope you all enjoyed this story. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye bye.